Ymedia.
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 Stay tuned with Ymedia.
Ymedia is a media company. With 360-degree approach in reaching the audience over 8 media platforms. Television, Channel Y Canada, 24/7, available nationwide. Toronto, Ottawa.
Welcome to Ymedia.
Hello everyone, my name is Yudhvir Jaswal. I am the group editor at Ymedia. At Ymedia, we are doing a series of shows by the name Y City, and in these episodes, we're talking about the different cities, in particularly GTA, but of course, we're also discussing about cities in different parts of Canada. And during these series, we are inviting mayors, deputy mayors, councillors, regional councillors to discuss about the future of these cities at Y City. And today, we have the sitting mayor for Mississauga, Carolyn Parrish, with us. Ma'am, a warm welcome. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
You are very welcome. We also have once again our dear friend, Zoe Malisa. Malisa has been very active in the community. Welcome back once again.
Thank you, and I'm privileged to sitting with in-house with the mayor of the city where we are hosting from.
Thank you. Yes, this is our Mississauga studios. If you're watching these shows, of course, mostly our shows are here in Canada, but many of the shows that we produce for US, they're all produced here in Mississauga. Mayor, we also call Mississauga our home for the last 26 years. You're also running as mayor once again. Can you tell us why you would want to run as mayor once again?
Well, I've got a lot of jobs to finish. I've made quite a few changes. We can talk about those later in the interview.
Sure.
But my big plan for the next 4 years is to really build a heart to our city, put a music center in there, put in a conference center, bring in a big hotel, and a very nice size apartment building with student residences in it. So it's my dream. I've wanted to do it for 8 or 10 years, and I want to hang around for 4 more to get it done.
You think you will be able to do all this in the next 4 years? That's quite an ambitious target. I love that.
It's ambitious. I think once we get started, once we get the music hall started, we'll tear down the Living Arts Center, and then we have 6 acres there the city owns. We've got it all laid out. We'll be consulting with the public shortly. I would guess after the election there'll be consultations, and we're open to any kind of suggestions that people want to make, but it's going to be a big project.
I have a suggestion, but before I get on to my suggestion, any initial plans for how much it would cost, where the money is going to come from, and how your ambitious plans, I love the plan by the way, how is going to benefit the city of Mississauga?
Well, right now, tourism brings in about $2.5 billion a year, and that reduces everybody's property tax by about $1,100. With this project, it's guessing we're going to be doubling that. We'll be bringing in $5 billion in tourism, which all the hotels pay us 7% of every fee that's paid. So we plan to have this really be an incentive for people to visit, but also an incentive to keep our taxes down.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, all good. Yeah, and you know, one of the things that one of little birdie told me, I did read about all this list, is great. I love the idea. And you know, I'm all about infrastructure, great ideas. I heard that, yes, you're also planning to build a stadium. Is that right?
We'd like to build a stadium right adjacent to the highway off Rathburn and Highway 10, where the LRT is going, about 8,500 seats. They used to be terribly expensive. They're now built in pieces in Manila and shipped in. So 8,500. Oxford Properties, who we made a land swap with them. We've already got half of the land we need. We get the other half from Ministry of Transport that's using it right now to build the LRT. All our equipment's there. Once that's done, they will offer it to us, and we've got a stadium location.
I love that. You know, a stadium, so is it going to be a multi-purpose stadium or any particular sport?
Well, unfortunately, I'd love to make it cricket and soccer, but I think it's just going to be soccer because the shape of those fields are completely different.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've got the space there for a cricket field. But we were building 4, we've got a new one going into just off Highway 10, just south of Bristol, where the Saigon Park is. Actually, it's close to Matheson. We have good sized cricket fields, so we're going to keep building them where we've got the space. But that tight little corner, I think, will be a soccer
stadium.
Yeah.
So soccer stadium is coming to Mississauga, and there are so many other ambitious projects. I think I love that idea. Melissa, your take on all this? I think these are all great ideas.
I'm sitting with my favorite mayor, and I think a lot of work needs to be done. She inherited a lot of things, and in the shorter run, 2 years, if we see a lot of things are happening, the day she's sworn in, she sit with her economic development team and with the developer teams and dropping up DCs, the lead across Ontario, and her youth hub, and helping our seniors with their free transit, snowplows, and a lot of other things. And you'll see a lot of other things need to be done. And with I think adding another very good healthcare facility in the city as well. And I think any more plans to go. And I am looking forward to those good plans. Again, 8th largest city in Canada and 4th in Ontario, biggest economy, big hub, and the business park where Mayor has been a great lobbyist with the provincial as well as federal government, and meeting with many of the corporate to bring more jobs within the city, and where the people can see a track record. And I think we need this kind of person to lead this beautiful city.
Great. We know that the crime has also been one of the major issues. The police budgets has been discussed, so there's a lot of discussion on that. So what's your idea of reducing the crime and still not over budgeting?
Well, thank goodness most of our crime is property. It's cars being stolen is a big one. And I think it's up to the federal government to try to fix that, because we have 2 large ports that we ship out of. They should both have scanners for all the big cases of goods that go out. Because if right now they're only hitting about 1 in 100 cases, they can open them and see what's inside. And if you start scanning all of them, you'll see all the cars stacked in there because they're being sold overseas. So I think that's a big issue. I think the type of crime we've had, as I said, is property crime. We don't have violent crime. It's going down. As far as the police are concerned, I think Chief Nish and his team are doing a really good job. They did have a couple of terrible years with tax increases. As you mentioned, one was 23.3. Mm-hmm. The worst part of that is Mississauga, which is now a little bit smaller in population than Brampton, pays 62% of that bill. Brampton pays 38% of that bill. An example is this year, we're subsidizing the police $106 million that should be divided with Brampton. It's not. So I've worked with the Premier. Everybody always says, got to get along with the guys that have the money. I get along with the Premier very well, but we've had conversations and he understands it's a serious problem. Every $20 million is 1% increase on your tax bill. So we are subsidizing $106 million. So we've got to fix that. As far as the police are concerned, if they need more money to do better policing, I'm fine with that. But I don't want to pay more than our share.
The skyline that we see in Mississauga, it's amazing. But let's talk about the affordability as well.
Well, affordability is coming down. Rentals are coming down. As was mentioned, we were the first city to reduce development charges by 50%. The commissioner of planning came into my office and he said, what would you rather collect? 100% of nothing or 50% of something? And I thought, okay, that's a silly question. Of course, 50% of something. So we reduced our development charges. We were the first municipality to do that. It was helped because the federal government promised us $112 million. We've had 3 checks so far. We've got 1 more coming. So all the reductions in development charges gave impetus to start building again. We also, on rental buildings, every 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom unit pays 0 DCs. And that's building more rental stuff for people with families. So that affordability, if you can get your housing costs down, your mortgage down, your rent down, you've got more money for food and for clothing, things that we can't control. So I think we're doing a good job there, and we've been recognized by the province as the leader.
Right. former Mayor Bonnie Crombie, she went on to the provincial as a leader. She's coming back again to challenge you. We have Alvin Tadjo. We have others, Deepika Tamrela as well, and there are a few other challenges as well. So why there is, your councillors, the former mayor, they're all coming up to challenge the seat. Why is that?
I have no idea. Great ambition, I would assume. I think Mr. Tedjo is going a little fast for himself. He's only been on council for 4 years. Bonnie doesn't seem like she's got the job at Queen's Park anymore and has floated her resume around to a lot of people and nobody picked it up. So I guess she's coming back to us, thinking that she can just take her old job back. But I'm there to prevent that.
Yeah. So highlight, what do you think? What sets you apart from all these people who are trying to challenge?
What sets me apart is 40 years experience. I was a member of parliament. I was a school board trustee. I've always worked for Mississauga for all 40 of those years. I'm completely devoted to our city. I have no other interests. I have no other ambitions. And I've got lots of experience and lots of knowledge and good working relationships with other levels of government. So I think that sets me apart.
Sure. You just mentioned, of course, in media, we cannot blur the lines. We welcome every single candidate. There's numbered, there's email at the bottom of the screen. So please get in touch with Ymedia in case, not only from Mississauga, any city right across Ontario. We've invited, there are many mayors who came, councillors, they're all coming. So in case you also want your time scheduled at Ymedia, please feel free to do that. You just mentioned your favorite mayor. You've been here many times, but I have not heard that word from you on the air, off the air. This is the first time I'm hearing my favorite mayor, Carolyn Parrish. Why would you use that word?
I am very blunt on this, and I can tell you why. If you see the shorter one, we have 2 years, and the day she's sworn in, as she mentioned, dropping of the DCs, and when she was the stepping stone and she was the icebreaker on that, followed by her, I can see a great friends in the different municipalities like City of Vaughan and followed by City of Barrie, and it was a great thing which started from this great city. And when you see the Dad Grades announcement, a great working relation between the 3 levels of government, fed, provincials, and municipal, a great announcement when you see Premier, Prime Minister, and Mayor of Toronto was there. And I think that was initiated in Mississauga, I believe. Second thing, there are a lot of great logs in the transportation. If you're going from Mississauga to Toronto, or we need to use our own public transit. Today, I think she was in a conversation with the Metrolinx's new president, Lindsay Matheson, and a lot of great things are happening. And third thing, one of the largest food plaza in North America is Ridgeway. And Mayor is there putting her ears to taking care of all those things to develop a major economic development in the city. Same thing if you see the data centers or the pharmaceutical companies and many ambitious plans. And where you see the crime is on the horizon. It's not just we need to increase the police budget. However, she has done 2 great things. One, youth hub in Malton. Second, mental health as well. And third thing is that taking care of the seniors as well. When your seniors the membership is increased over 30 to 40% in those community centers, it means the great work has happening. And experience matters as well. 40 years, you're from school board trustee working in the federal government for 13 years and then serving this great city. And there's a lot of energy. And I think we should get the benefit of experience. And she's the most experienced person in this race to get the stuff done, and a great working relationship with provincial as well as with the feds. And I'm gonna say on media that if you see all the tourism PEPs all 6 are helping, and a great working relationship with the feds too. So and when you see majority of the council is helping, it means all the boxes are checked.
Great.
Now, I thought he would say it's because I'm so charming. He did not say that. I am charming.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Yeah. We've had some issues from south of the border. The tariffs, we know that. So what are you hearing from the residents in Mississauga?
Well, first of all, we've had a couple of roundtables with some of our companies,
Yeah.
small companies, large companies. And what they've been cautioning us to do is not fight back too hard, not make too much noise.
Mhm.
Let the experts do the consultations and the negotiations. So what we've done is we've bolstered as much help as we can through our economic development people, but we're not, throwing snowballs at them. We're just trying to keep the peace and allow Mr. Carney to continue doing the job he's doing. What he's done that's really remarkable for us is he's reaching out beyond the United States and creating new trade partners, which we should have done years ago. So I'm happy to see him doing that. I'm happy to see Mr. Ford occasionally taking a flight down there and talking to some of the governors in the border states and making good relations. So I think we're being very adult about the whole thing. Mr. Trump isn't being so adult, but we're just going to have to swing with it.
You just mentioned that, yes, this should have been done a long time ago, to diversify our trade. Now, as you just mentioned, Prime Minister, the Middle East, the investment is coming from Middle East. I think so we could be signing a trade deal with India as early before the end of this year. Next could be Brazil, then China. So these trade deals could be signed with them. So why we didn't do this? Because I'm just taking this liberty. You were a member of parliament. I'm just taking the liberty to ask, you have a lot of experience. Why we didn't do this all these years?
Under Mr. Chrétien, I was in the government 13 years with him. What he tried to do was break down the trade barriers between provinces, which is an embarrassment. When you're going from Ontario to BC, there are trade difficulties. When you're going from Ontario to Quebec, there's difficulties. So he spent a lot of time trying to break down those barriers. But we didn't have the economic strain then that we have now. One of the things we did have was we got elected in 1993. In 94 and 95, we had terrible budgets and we had to cut back on a lot of things. But he explained to the residents why we were doing this, why we were cutting back on grants. And we got it, so we actually balanced the budget. In 95, in 96 and 97, we started paying down the debt. We don't get any compliments to Mr. Chrétien for that. He was wonderful. So I don't think the need was as strong then to build new trade partners, although we always were open for trade with anybody that was interested. But I think now it's imperative that we open up the doors. Right now, most of the raw materials that we use in all our pharmaceuticals come from India already. We've already had a good trade relationship with them. This new relationship will be even better.
Great. And one of the things which I've discussed with many mayors, we have people from diverse backgrounds. I've been in Mississauga for almost 26 years now. We have people from backgrounds, but which is great. But sometimes the challenge could be, there are issues happening in Middle East, India, Pakistan. And because of those issues, we see protests here. By the way, I've always mentioned this, protests are very much an integral part of any democracy. Well, this is great. Same day protest for two different ideologies. And then I've always suggested this thing, why don't we have dedicated places, zones that, okay, like in India, they were able to get cabinet minister resigned, but they had a dedicated spot, Jantar Mantar. In India, in Delhi in 2014, just a civil movement started and they were able to change the government of Delhi. The two major parties, the Congress and BJP, they were not able to form the government, but again, the dedicated place. So why can't we have dedicated places? So that way what happens is the residents can go about their business. In these dedicated places, the media can come over there. We can have any support if they need, any medical or anything like that over there, any law enforcement needs to be done. And that way, say for instance, I'm saying today we have a rally pro maybe Israel or Palestine. Okay, fine, you can do your thing here today. Tomorrow we can have a rally pro or anti. I mean, why have a conflict? Many of our police resources are put up there and we can avoid all these clashes. Please.
Well, one of the things I will say to you is all our public spaces, like the Celebration Square, if it's booked for a particular celebration, it's full.
Right.
But Celebration Square is open. I organized a protest when I was an MP
Yeah.
pro-Palestine, very peaceful. We had little tents, and we had a lot of teenagers stayed overnight. It was an overnight sleep-in, or whatever you want to call it. And we had blue toques. Everybody was fine. And Hazel came out and she says, just make sure you clean up the mess before you leave. So she even spoke to the group. Anybody can use any of our public facilities. They can use the property on Celebration Square, because we've never had a riot. We've never had bad protests. We are the most multicultural city in Canada, I believe. And we have people from all over the world, and we have mutual respect, so that when you have protests, people work around them. So I think if you're getting to the point where your protesters are getting pushy, shovey, violent, then you might have to do what they've done in India. But so far, we have had no troubles at all. We have never had to break up a protest. We've never had to arrest anybody. I watched one year, about 2 years ago, where some truck drivers came into the crowd, and they had flags that were not welcome.
Right.
And people went to the truck, and asked them to open the windows, and they said, please take those flags down. You're causing a disturbance. And they did. So I can't say everybody's that nice, but generally speaking, touch Arbright or wood, we haven't had any violent protests in Mississauga. We've always been very peaceful.
Great. And in case I know, as Melissa was also mentioning, and you also mentioned you have good relationship with the feds and of course our provincial government. But in case you get elected again, what is your ask from our federal government and the provincial government?
Well, the federal government for sure have billions of dollars they've announced that they're going to give out for projects. We would love to get our share, particularly for the redevelopment of the city center. We are not allowed to tell you how much. We've already been told we're getting a big grant from the provincial government. The announcement's the end of August. So working with them closely, speaking to them all the time, working well with our partners has paid off for us so far. We're hoping, though, to get a bit more out of the federal government. They so far have not dropped any great big piles of money like they did in Toronto, but we're lobbying, we're working for it.
Moving around traffic has been an issue in almost every city. Are you satisfied with the way traffic moves around, the LRT that we're building?
Well, the LRT's caused a lot of congestion on McLaughlin Road and all the other north-south roads because people are avoiding it. I came up Highway 10 today and it was fine. The new Metrolinx gentleman, Michael Lindsay, is doing a fantastic job. It used to be you drive up and down Highway 10 and you'd see one little crew of 4 working, and then you wouldn't see anybody for blocks and blocks. Now there's work going on all day long, all along the line. And I would say 7 days a week, even in the heat. So he's going to get that finished. I think once that's finished, you'll see some of the traffic settle down. People that don't take transit still probably won't, but it'll get the cars shifting more equally back to where they should be. And we haven't lost any lanes of traffic with the LRT. It's all been very smooth operation so far. I'm hoping, it's funny because back when that was passed, I was off council for 4 years. And I probably wouldn't have voted for it. I would have wanted an east-west connection first. But right now we have over 500,000 jobs in Mississauga, and we have more people coming into those jobs than Mississauga's working in them. So that east-west traffic is important. So is north-south, though.
We can do many things, but the property taxes, because we have to give the services, it's always been a challenge. Many of the mayors that I spoke to in the last 15, 20, 25 years, most of them were of this opinion that, we can't run a deficit budget, and then we should have alternate source of revenue. You just mentioned tourism is part of your plan. So any other plans that you think should the federal government give you, or some gas tax or anything? What do you think?
We already get gas tax. We get federal gas tax already, and
Right.
it's fairly generous. What I wanted to do, a lot of, 2 of the mayors before me wanted to break up the region. I don't believe the province is ready to break up the region because it would cause chaos in the other regions. You can't do it for one region and not the others. But what I have done for the last 2 years is I looked at what was costing us a lot of money at the region, and it was maintaining roads plowing the roads, doing all that work. We subsidize Caledon about $30 million a year. So I asked, and they put a bylaw, a law through at the province to, in 2027, the 3 municipalities take back their own responsibility for their own roads. So that's going to save us 30 million right away in 2027. We also, through the Peel Council, got everybody to agree to take back their own waste collection. So the waste collection is another $18 million. So there's 30 plus 18. And then if we get the police bills fixed, we should be on easy street. I will never promise zero tax increases. That's foolish. And you can't do it. You've got prices of gasoline and everything going up. You've got labor going up. You've got buildings to maintain. You've got union workers. You will never bring in a zero tax increase. But what we will do is get ours down to a very manageable level under the cost of living.
Yeah, of course, as you just mentioned, 2.5 billion, you just mentioned that you're already getting tourism and your aim is to get it to $5 billion. That's what you mentioned. So I think with all those innovative ideas, we can definitely get that. What are you hearing from the residents of Mississauga? What are their top issues?
Again, I think the mayor have beautifully mentioned those things. Police budget could be done either way, OPP formula or some other things. Transit, gridlock, great conversation with Michael Lindsay. But I think on that, if I'll just maybe a suggestion to all the candidates or maybe to mayor in specific, maybe to forming a committee with the council or other members and give the update to the public that what's going on with that Metrolink transit stuff and how it can tell the people. And as tourism is a big industry in the city, I can see in the Pakistani community, the Halal Food Festival, many of our other communities. I think there was an event from our Latin community owner, and again, Mississauga is very diverse, and the city is the problem become as well. But I think the way there are also ways to help some of our seniors to reduce their taxes as well. And the more tourism will happen, the more industrial park are there, the more job creativity is there. A lot of things could be happen. But again, there are problems as well, which I think gridlock is the main. Second is crime. But I think we need to have more of the youth hubs in the city where maybe mayor can mention those what our plans are. But I think these are the three things which are in every city. But Mississauga being the largest city right on the highways corridor as well, on the Golden Horseshoe, creating a lot of jobs too. But I think transportation is the biggest and foremost.
Yeah. You just mentioned tourism. I'm coming back to that topic once again. I've seen many mayors who are quite ambitious. I've seen two different types of mayors. One mayor, with due respect, I'm saying, I'll talk about them, they'll say, oh, road repair, this, that, that's their focus. So with due respect, not out of the box thinking. There are other mayors like LA, they're building, Shah Rukh Khan is building huge stadium over there because first time in 2028 LA Olympics, you will be having cricket introduced to Olympics. Then we had the London Olympics. Then we had games in Brisbane. Then we had in Australia. In India, they are doing Commonwealth Games again in 2030. Then 2036, they are aiming for Olympics. So these are the times when the mayors, they're able to put cities on a global map. So any ambitions like that, attracting tourism or anything like that?
Well, funny, last night or the night before, the weekend, I lose which day is Saturday and which day is Sunday. I have about 12 events every weekend. We had the seniors cricket international competition, their start-off banquet. And there were 14 countries. And it was at the Small Arms building, and they all had their colored jackets on. And I was so proud because, in fact, our staff, and I'm not being critical, they figured it out. They were asking for too much money from the city to try to help with this. So a couple of us moved a motion and we overruled our staff. And we are so happy that they're here. And they're over 60-year-old level, over 70-year-old levels, and over 80-year-old cricketers here. So that is really significant to us. And that's why we are trying to build more cricket fields. We've got a couple of areas where we've got about 40 acres that are still open, and you need a lot of space. You need washrooms, you need lighting, you need stands. So we've got a couple of those on the way. But my good friend here mentioned the youth hubs. I really want to talk to you about that for a bit. I found a dead swimming pool up in Malton. It was attached to the high school. It couldn't be repaired anymore. It had been empty for 7 years. We completely cleared the inside of it. We had students from both of the high schools up in Malton come and tell us what they wanted to see in a youth hub. So I put them on a board of directors. They gave us all their ideas. Not only that, as we were designing it, they were approving every change in that building. So we built a ground floor and a mezzanine. We have a full teaching kitchen in there. We are feeding 400 kids a day who come to school with no breakfast and no lunch. And we're feeding them. So we do that. We have a music studio. We have a dance studio. We have a games room. We have everything they want on the ground floor. And then they get comfortable. There's 4,000 members. They go upstairs if they need mental health counseling, or they need drug counseling, or they just need any other job preparation. So they get comfortable in the building. It's their building. The other thing I'm told by the Peel Regional Police is that petty crime, like shoplifting, things like that, has gone way down, because they weren't stealing because they were bad kids. They were stealing because they were hungry. So we're building a second one at Bloor and Dixie, and that one's about to start the construction. They tore down the building. It's much easier to tear the building down than to try to build around it as we did. But they run about $20 million. It's the best money you could ever invest, because you're saving all those kids from getting into trouble, getting police records, and generally ruining their lives. So very proud of that one. Got another one underway. I promised that 2 years ago in the election. When I win this election, there's going to be a third one. And we always pick areas that have very difficult social economic markers. So we pick the areas where the kids need a place like that.
Great. Thank you so much. Before we let you go, please, your final comments, and then we'll end up with the mayor.
I just want to add a quick on tourism or economic development. Markham, City of Markham has took Indie Honda after a number of years from Toronto to Markham, and they're bringing a lot of employment in the city as well. And maybe Mayor Parrish, those kind of ideas which are available and which can help. Again, to the audience, municipal elections are there up there. Do your due diligence for your great city, you guys are supporting, for your councils, mayors, and make sure to everybody vote and do your civic responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before you make your final comments to the audience, I once again want you to highlight, because I am big on infrastructure, to the point that I remember many people in the community, before they call Yudhvir or Ymedia, they'll say, "Hi, Mr. Infrastructure." So I said, yeah. So I want you to highlight those things once again for the benefit of our viewers, in case you have tuned in late. What are your ambitious projects? I love to listen to them, and I hope that in your tenure, if case, I don't want to blur the lines, in case you get elected again, we'd love to see all that happening in Mississauga. Please.
Well, yes, the Mississauga, rebuilding the city center, and you said it's very ambitious for a 4-year term. It's not. A gentleman built down at Sugar Beach in Toronto. He built something fairly similar, the same number of buildings, and he did it in 4.5 years. So he's helping us. He's working on this with us. So I have every confidence we're going to see a big transition in our downtown. That is a big, big dream of mine, and it's been for many, many years. As a regular councillor, I used to look at that city center and say, we've got to do something to get excitement going there. And people value what we're doing at about 2.5 billion, but we don't build apartment buildings. We don't build hotels. So part of that 2.5 billion is other people's money. So that's why I'm pretty excited about this. And the stadium itself, right on the LRT, and it's not going to require big parking lots and wasted space. We are also building a whole new transit station in the center of Mississauga. That's being funded partially by the provincial government. So we want to draw people into the center of our city, and we want to make sure that they don't have to go into downtown Toronto and fight the traffic to get entertainment or sports or anything else that they want to watch. We want people to love being in Mississauga and stay and spend their money here.
Thank you. And your final thoughts for our audience, why they should re-elect you as the mayor?
Well, I'm going to be a bit selfish and say yes. I hope you will re-elect me. I've demonstrated in 2 years I've accomplished a lot. Seniors have had a fantastic ride. Got rid of those windrows at the end of your driveways, 123,000 driveways. I've done a lot in 2 years, and I think you will see I will do a lot more in 4 years. So I would love to have another term, and I hope you will vote for me.
Thank you so much. That's all the time that we have. We will carry on the discussion, if time permitting, at Y City. Zoib Saab, thank you so much. Mayor Carolyn Parrish, thank you so much. We wish everyone all the best. In case you want to watch all these discussions, stay tuned with Y Media. Thank you.
Y Media. Y Media. Y Media.
Y Media.
Y Media.
Stay tuned with Y Media.